Running never did much good. Hiding doesn't last forever. You can't run faster when it's you you're running from. So you throw your hands up like doves to the setting sun. Somewhere, John, the stars are falling like jewels upon a thin black veil. You'll find the mysteries enthralling. 5 seconds seems like 5 billion years. 10,000 galaxies away, yet still so near.
Welcome to Karen Holton's podcast. Karen permanently lost 178 pounds and found happiness and success by following her own advice. She has now developed that advice into the quantum health transformation. Heal, evolve, and thrive. Karen's website offers a free webinar workshop series, and you'll also find tools, methods, and practices to assist you to become the change you want to see in the world. She believes that we are all connected. Heal the planet by healing yourself. Connect with Karen at her website, KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com, and through Facebook at Facebook.com/Quantum Health Transformation. Now for the podcast.
Welcome back to Quantum Health Transformation 2.0, Step 4 Blue, Understanding the Power of Heuristics and Speaking Your Truth. Please note, this primer is meant to accompany the corresponding live recorded video. Both primer and live Quantum Health Transformation 2.0 videos will be presented in descending number order. Start your learning process with Step 9, then proceed to Step 8, and so forth. Learn Step 1 last. This will help you to bypass some of your linear programming. All information presented in any Quantum Health Transformation media is taken from the Living Library, also known as the Akashic Records, and from my personal life experience and training. I am not an expert, a mathematician, or a scientist. I am a seeker of knowledge and wisdom. This system of quantum health transformation works well for me. However, you must synthesize this information and take only that which serves you. At the very least, it is my hope that you will be stimulated to seek your own inner wisdom. Please note, any part of the Quantum Health Transformation, Original or 2.0 series can be copied and shared under the Fair Use Clause, as long as credit is given to myself, Karen Holton, my company, Vancouver Island Alternative Lifestyle Services, also known as VIALS, and Quantum Health Transformation. Thank you. For legal purposes, I have provided this disclaimer. Please read it through before you continue. Understanding the power of heuristics and speaking your truth. In order to speak your truth, you must find your truth. Your truth is that which you have come to believe once you have stepped outside of the socio-economic political construct or your socialized programming. Speaking your truth requires a shift in perception and new ways of expressing yourself. One way to step outside of our socio-economic political programming is to consider how we learn on a total perceptual level and get a better understanding of our heuristic patterns. Let me show you the bigger mechanical picture. Heuristics literally means learning, discovering, or problem solving by experimental, trial and error methods, and exploratory problem solving techniques that self-educate and allow us to improve performance and evolve based on feedback. Quantum heuristics In short, heuristics is the whole process of taking in and interpreting data and then learning from it. This is how we plot our course through life, and it involves taking in data on a physical level, what we see, hear, touch, smell, and taste. The data we take in on a socio-emotional level, that's the culturally constructed meaning attached to the data and the emotional sensations produced from our perceptions of it, as well as the data we take in on an energetic level, the energy produced from the symbols that form the data. We do well to consider our self-learning from at least those three perspectives, which form a holistic or quantum view. Most of our interpretation of the data, what we call reality, comes from patterns of cultural learning based on words, which form standardized, mutually built conscious concepts into a verbal pattern in order to share with others the constructed data, forming what we consider to be shared reality. We get used to thinking within these patterns and learn from our perceived experiences within the shared environment. It is my belief that linguistic relativity and language influence our beliefs, and the use of words affects our perceptions and our patterns of learning. Since all things are connected, we do well to consider our choice of words and the methods of communication we rely on. The media. Since mainstream media is not a reliable source of factual data, its purpose must be sensationalism and a useful propaganda delivery system. Mainstream televised and audio media favors words that either stir up excessive emotion or minimize emotional response altogether, and by doing so, this communication system discourages the use of empathy and compassion. These skills are essential for personal and global health. When television was first introduced to the public, it was a marketing device. The shows attracted the audience for the commercial sale of products, and an example of that is soap operas. With very few exceptions, for example, public programming, everything broadcasted on TV and the radio is there to sell you products, concepts, and ideologies. It is important to remember that words carry their own energy and the energy from years of use by many people. This is why the word love has a similar effect on water crystals, whether it is written or spoken in English, Japanese, Italian, or Mandarin. Reference Dr. Emoto's work. When we use a word which has a similar meaning in any language, it also has a measurable effect on the energetic frequency of our bodies. In other words, biofeedback, biokinesiology, EEG scans, etc. all measure that energy output. My point is that words form concepts or ideas, which shape beliefs, which determine our view of the world, our perspective, which influences the feedback essential for self-guided learning, also known as evolution, heuristics. Enter the law of attraction. The energy carried by the thoughts, words, and sounds associated with verbal communication and idea conceptualization fuel the law of attraction, which involves elements of both energy and consciousness. Everything is energy. Matter is made up of atoms, which are made up of electrons, neutrons, and protons, which are made up of quarks, leptons, gauge bosons, and Higgs or scalar boson particles, etc. When we break everything down to its smallest components, everything has wave-particle duality, sometimes called wavicles, and is expressed in both mass and energy. Living beings produce biophotonic energy, which can be seen with Kirlian photography, and by measuring the strength of the torus field produced by our physical hearts. See Quantum Health Transformation Step 8 and Step 5 primers for more on that. Many experiments show us that we are transceivers. We transmit and receive energetic information. Recently, scientists have discovered that spiritual consciousness, also known as biophotonic energy, travels faster than the speed of light, with an unimaginable high frequency and short wavelength, and these are not the same as brainwaves. This is why spiritual consciousness travels outside of time and space. Examples are the sacral chakra transmits at the speed of light squared, and the crown chakra transmits at the speed of light to the 8th power. That's unimaginably fast. Think of common written and spoken words as symbols, which carry little packages of consciousness. We have been taught to think in terms of words constrained by time and space, creating our 3D experience. But when we use uncommon or sacred written and spoken words, we are transmitting the energy faster than time and space. This is why prayer and authentic desire, which is really visualization without words, are so effective at bringing results. When we are fully present in the now, we transmit with and without words. Spiritual consciousness transmits our desires outside of time and space, and we operate on a whole new level. This is why meditation is so beneficial. While fully present and by living consciously, we operate within the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth dimensions or more. By living consciously, we listen to our speech and notice where adjustments are needed, and we self-correct our course. This is one of the many advantages of finding the observer within, also called the inner guru. When we shift, our perspective shifts, along with our learning outcomes. Think of the process like playing a video game, except with real-life 3D consequences. At the same time, the brain learns very quickly, and since it is wellness-oriented, we become aware of different options, which were there all along, but we were programmed not to notice them. Your subconscious mind starts to set things up on a physical level to make the energy manifest. It is a team effort. Check out Me, Myself, and I from Quantum Health Transformation Step 6, Part 3 primer. This is why living in the now brings about or manifests our desires like magic. More on manifesting and the techniques to stack the energy and to speed up desired outcomes in Quantum Health Transformation Step 3. It all comes back to using our courage to step outside of our comfort zones and grasp a quantum reality and all of its benefits. Please reflect on the information you learned in Quantum Health Transformation Step 9 primer for more on technique. A note about quantum physics. Quantum physics is ruled by theoretical scientists and experimental scientists, but they would progress much faster if they included the practical scientists, called experiencers, who are adept at applying the principles of quantum physics in real-life applications. Trinities always produce better results than binary systems. Here are some common examples of heuristics in motion. Gossiping and spreading rumors sends out, adds to, and intensifies energy, which always has an effect on the target and the sender or senders. Currently, and many years ago, people of all nations used words along with amplifiers, examples are crystals and herbs, to send energy to targets. Depending on the intention of the sender, the outcome can be negative or positive. If the intention of the sender is negative, it's called gossip, rumor spreading, or dark spell casting. If the intention of the sender is positive, then it is called shamanism, Reiki, or sending and tending blessings, well wishes, and love. Words and symbols form concepts of harm or health, which when directed at others provide outcomes, cause and effect, which provided learning and strengthening of belief systems. Self-education and improved performance is the end result. Another good example is something in sociology called cultural capital. People of elevated status or with, quote, old money, wealth, and, of course, con artists, follow certain traditions of speech, actually words and pronunciations, which produce specific conceptual belief systems, like entitlement. These, along with other factors like appearance and display of prestige items, form a calling card or identifying marker gaining them access to experiences that the majority of us do not get the opportunity to participate in. This phenomenon also has a similar energetic effect. Again, words and symbols form concepts of entitlement, which are directed at others, providing outcomes, or cause and effect, which provide learning and a strengthening of belief systems. Self-education and improved performance is the end result. My final example is the classic rags to riches story, more currently known as the I was sad but found what makes me happy story. To write your own version of this story, simply pick a new, uncharted, but thought out point on your nubby ball and watch for the resulting changes in perception unfold in time. At first, you will need to keep bringing yourself back to the new route, thoughts, patterns, vocabulary, beliefs. But soon you will be able to see the patterns in experiences and plot the future by fine-tuning your desires through thought patterns and beliefs, and also actions, adjusting our vocabulary and our choices. Now you are directing and controlling your own virtual reality. You choose different words and symbols to form concepts of your new experience, which are directed at your outside world, providing outcomes or cause and effect, which provide learning and a strengthening of our belief systems. Self-education and improved performance is the end result, and your goals are met. Soon we find ourselves in a flexible groove of perspective, and we can reflect on our truths and see how they evolve from fresh new experiences. Once we get to know our truths, we can throw out some, we can look for new ones, and we can share them with others, giving voice to the global shift each one of us contributes to. Now everything changes as we become the change we want to see in the world. In my experience, this process is true for attaining better health, wisdom, and wealth, which kind of happens in that order. Find your truth and express it however you want. Words are only one form of communication. I use the nubby ball as a tool to share the context of what I am saying regarding heuristics and speaking our truths. Some of this step 4 primer requires abstract thinking. If this is a stretch for you, use a physical ball or a picture of a sphere to help you get started, and review the step 9 primer and the live videos for technique. By the way, the nubby ball tool is also known as quantum field holography. Once you recognize your own patterns, feel free to experiment and choose new patterns until you find ones that resonate with your desires. Along with an evolution in thinking comes a shift in perception and new ways of looking at things. You will discover options that were there all along, and your mind forms new neural pathways as you learn. This facilitates a refining process that leads to happiness and the attaining of your desires. Now you can experience the power of heuristics and speak your truth with amazing outcomes. Next, watch Quantum Health Transformation Step 4 Blue, Understanding the Power of Heuristics and Speaking Your Truth live video. This concludes the Step 4 2.0 primer. Please feel free to contact me for more information and for assistance with your wellness program. I am grateful for all the forces and beings that assist me with the production of this 9-step online course. The Quantum Health Transformation course is free. If you would like to support my work, please purchase some of my beautiful Zen Domes Organites. I am grateful to my Universal Starseed community. I am grateful for my brother James Tracy, who made the first Zen Domes orgone generators for me. Please join me for Step 3 Indigo, Understanding and Using Perception within the construct and manifesting change. Seeing is believing. If you would like to contact me, I'm available through my website at www.KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com. That's KarenHolton healthcoach.com, or simply email me at files@shaw.ca.
Lion only makes you hurt. Denying only makes it worse. Love and surrender seem the fastest way to bring an end to bitter, painful days. Somewhere down the stars are falling like jewels upon a thin black veil, and you will thrill to hear your calling. 5 seconds seems like 5 billion years, 10,000 galaxies away, yet still so near.